Welcome to Mall Memories, where we bring you complete tours of live malls. Today we're visiting one of the 10 largest indoor shopping malls in the United States. That's right, we're at Destiny USA in Syracuse, New York. Now, despite its regional retail dominance, Destiny USA continues to face significant financial challenges. As reported on FingerLakes1.com in August of 2024, the mall's owner, Pyramid Management Group, failed to make a crucial $38.9 million payment required to extend its forbearance agreement on a $440 million loan that matured in 2019. So can this behemoth of a mall survive? We're about to find out. We parked near Hiawatha Boulevard and we are taking the enclosed walkway into the mall. This entryway has long reminded me of one of those Disney World queue lines for rides which make you wait for like an hour or two. As we enter this truly massive mall, and it is pretty spectacular, we are currently in the addition side of the mall. This didn't come into being until 2012. The original mall, which we will tour first, included about 1.5 million square feet, and this addition brought the total to just over 2.4 million square feet. We are touring on a weekday in the middle of January, and it is exactly 10 a.m. opening time for the mall. So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of shoppers here yet. We'll also see some stores which haven't opened yet, and plenty of restaurants will still be closed for the next 1 to 2 hours. Destiny USA is so enormous that we're breaking this video into 2 sections. The first will be devoted to the original section of the mall, and part 2 will take a look at the addition. What we'll do is we'll head into the original section of the mall, give you a complete walkthrough and tour, and we will decide if this mall is indeed going to stand the test of time. Besides Destiny USA's most recent financial difficulties, the mall has struggled to keep its anchor stores. And as we tour, you're going to see a lot of open anchor stores. Keep that in mind. Right off the bat, we see an example of a closed anchor store. This was Lord & Taylor, which closed shortly after the pandemic. Lord & Taylor is rumored to be reopening across the country. Now, whether or not it would come back to Destiny USA remains to be seen, but right now, this space is empty as it has been for a few years. We'll ride the escalator down, 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 and we'll tour both the first and second floors of the original mall space. There's also a basement section of the mall, and we'll check that out too. When I visited Destiny during February of 2024, the H&M was closed for a massive remodel, and it is now open and has been for several months. And this is a look at the current version of H&M. Destiny USA is the largest shopping mall in all of New York State, and it is one of the largest in the United States. It was originally known as Carousel Center. Now, the idea for Carousel Center began in the early 1980s by Pyramid Management Group led by Robert Conjal. The mall was part of an urban revitalization effort to redevelop the polluted Oil City area along Syracuse's Onondaga Lake, a site historically used for industrial purposes. A groundbreaking for Carousel Center occurred in 1987 after years of negotiations and environmental remediation. The mall officially opened on October the 15th, 1990, with anchor stores JCPenney, Kaufmann's, Steinbach, and Chappell's. The name was inspired by the antique Philadelphia Toboggan Company number 18 Carousel, which was restored and installed on the mall's second level. We will take a look at that. In the early 2000s, Pyramid proposed an ambitious expansion to create Destiny USA, a green city that would transform the mall into a global tourist destination, and original plans included hotels, a conference center, an indoor park, and even a monorail. But these were scaled back just a little over time. The expansion began in 2007, adding about 850,000 square feet of retail, dining, and entertainment space, and the newly expanded facility was branded Destiny USA and officially opened in 2012. The project emphasized sustainability, achieving LEED Gold certification for its use of eco-friendly materials and designs. Now, over this sprawling 2.4 million square feet, Destiny USA has over 250 stores and restaurants ranging from high-end retailers to some budget-friendly options. Entertainment offerings include a Regal Cinema, a WonderWorks, Mirror Maze, and an RPM Raceway. And the Cannon area, which was introduced in the expansion, features dining options and entertainment venues, including a comedy club. The mall attracts over 26 million visitors annually, making it quite the regional destination. and it also serves as a hub for Canadian shoppers from Ontario to Quebec. Okay, those are the positive aspects of the mall. Let's take a look at some of the concerns about Destiny USA, because there are quite a few. This is definitely a polarizing mall. I think it is the most polarizing mall in the Northeast. So number one is crime and safety concerns. The mall has faced criticism for reported incidents of theft, fights, and other criminal activities. And that has created perception among many that the mall is unsafe. And while mall security is present, some feel additional measures are needed to ensure visitor safety. As we're walking around the mall, I am seeing a lot of mall security. In fact, quite a few Syracuse police officers. So they're definitely present, but this is also kind of a downside as well. While it's nice to have the security, it also takes away from the immersion factor of just, getting away from it all and enjoying a quiet day of shopping. You always feel like there's eyes on you, that there's, police watching everything that you're doing. So that can be a drawback to the experience at Destiny USA. Of course, there's the economic impact on local businesses. Critics argue that Destiny USA has drawn business away from smaller local shops and especially from downtown Syracuse, and its dominance in the retail landscape is stifling competition. There are traffic and infrastructure strain concerns. There are debt and financial issues, some of which we've already discussed. The mall has struggled with mounting debt, including a $430 million loan, which it is struggling to repay. And some residents worry, very understandably, about the long-term sustainability of the mall and the potential impact if it closes or downsizes. Before we jump into more of the criticisms about Destiny USA, here is another closed anchor store. We are seeing a handful of closed anchor stores across this mall space. I find it interesting because it appears that the shops are, for the most part, all open and operating and doing pretty good business. It's just the anchor stores which Destiny USA is struggling to keep filled. A very polarizing aspect of Destiny USA would have to be the tax incentives which the mall has received over the years. So let's just start with a few of them. There is a 30-year property tax exemption. In 2007, Destiny USA secured a 30-year property tax exemption through a payment in lieu of taxes or pilot agreement with the Syracuse Industrial Development Agency. And under this agreement, the developers committed to making payments totaling $64 million over 12 years instead of paying the standard property taxes. And this arrangement was notably longer than typical pilot agreements, which usually span about 10 years. There's also about $56 million in the Brownfield Cleanup Program tax credits, another $70 million in Empire Zone tax benefits, which Destiny USA was eligible for. And then, of course, there are the green bonds and the federal tax exemption financing. We're talking $228 million in green bonds, which this mall received through the federal Green Bond Program, established under the American Jobs Creation Act of 2004. critics argue that several ambitious components of Destiny USA, such as additional expansion, sustainable energy features, were never realized despite the extensive tax benefits received. And of course, there are economic impact disputes, which I just mentioned. Many local businesses and officials contend that the anticipated economic growth has not materialized to the extent promised. And the list of complaints wouldn't be complete without considering all of the competing malls which died after Destiny USA expanded. Some rightfully argue that those malls did not receive the tax credits that the Destiny USA mall received, and therefore it was never a fair competition to begin with. Where do you stand in this debate? Leave a message in the comments and let me know your thoughts. I'll share mine. I love visiting malls, hence this channel. And I believe Destiny USA is an outstanding mall. It's arguably one of the best I have ever walked into. And I've walked into Mall of America and many of the larger malls across the United States. This is a clean, well thought out mall. We're coming up on the food court, so let's walk through and see how the food court is performing. I'm embarrassed to admit there was a time in my life when I actually thought that Sbarro made a pretty good slice of pizza, and not so much. It's okay for the mall. All the eateries seem to be doing very well. I don't see any closed eateries. There is a restaurant on the far corner, just off to our left, which is closed on the day that we are visiting, but that is also an open and functioning restaurant. And here's the famous carousel, which we have been talking about since the beginning. Remember that Destiny USA was once called Carousel Center. I don't see anything particularly unique about any of these food options, but all of the eateries are open and doing very well. Though I'm an unabashed fan of the skylights, I really dig what Destiny did with the translucent roof. I think it's a really neat touch, and it just offers this interesting little glow into the mall all the time. They keep it very well maintained. The floors are always clean. The store fronts looked very good. Occupancy is very high at this mall always, with the exception, of course, of the anchor stores, which we discussed earlier. Overall, the entertainment options have never been matched by a mall in upstate New York before, and I don't think ever will be again. So there is a lot to love about this mall. I'm not a big fan of the location. I far preferred going to DeWitt to visit Shopping Town or visiting Fayetteville and the Fayetteville Mall, or even driving up to Clay to visit the Great Northern Mall back in the day. What I will say, despite the location concerns that many Syracuse residents rightfully have about Destiny USA, it is very easy to get to the mall. It's right off of Route 881. It's very close to I-690 and also I-481. So it's just a really good location if you're coming from out of town or you just live in the Syracuse area and you use the highways frequently. Other than some closed anchor stores, it appears the mall is doing just fine. We've just about completed our tour of the two main levels in the original portion of Destiny USA, which was once known as Carousel Center. What we're going to do is continue down this path. We'll take the escalator down and we will visit the basement, which does have more stores. I've never been a big fan of the basement. I'll show you why. So we have more shopping options here in the basement section of Destiny USA, and there seems to be a decided lean towards the budget type stores in this area of the mall. We have some dead space as well. I'm not sure what the plans are for this open space in the mall, but hopefully they can fill it because it's kind of an eyesore. You don't get any natural light down on the basement level, which should be assumed, of course. It just seems like a dingier section of the mall. I don't feel particularly safe here, and I don't like to visit the basement section of Destiny USA. I feel a lot more comfortable and I find a lot more options by sticking to the top 2 levels or visiting the expansion section. Hard to believe, but we have been touring this mall for a half an hour already, and we've still only seen half of the mall. Pretty incredible. Destiny USA really is a sight to behold. So what I'm going to do is end the video here and call this part 1. And then please join me for part 2 of the video, in which we will take a look at the expansion area of Destiny USA. So what do you think? Can Destiny USA overcome its troubles and continue to thrive as a dominant retail mall in the Northeast? Leave a message in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I will be touring more malls in the coming future. Thanks for watching.